Throughout history, we, as humans, have used the power of our minds to achieve incredible and amazing feats. In reality, our minds are simply tools we use to create our thoughts. And the quality of our thoughts determines the quality of our experiences. A simple shift in perception will quickly and easily improve how you feel and what you believe is possible, helping you to achieve all of your personal goals, even those that previously seemed unattainable. Join us now as we explore the vast landscapes of our minds. This is Mind Over Matter.
Good evening, I'm Mitch Friedman, and welcome to Mind Over Matter TV, where we like to help you find different tools and techniques for you to overcome the obstacles in your life, feel better, and reach all your goals. And we're going to do that tonight with a really good friend of mine. I'm really excited about this interview tonight. So I want to go ahead and introduce Juli Somers. So welcome to the show, Julie.
Thank you, Mitch. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah, Julie is the executive director for the Center of Inner Truth. Pretty amazing. And I have to say, you know, I took classes with Julie, well, I think it was like 6 years ago. I took a couple of classes from her in the center, and it was life-changing. We were talking about it at the beginning of the interview. I used some of the tools and techniques that you taught me. I use them on a daily basis, and especially like getting grounded and getting really centered. It changed my life. So I still, to this day, use some of the techniques that you taught. So
I love hearing that. That's great.
Yeah, it was so fun. I really enjoyed the classes, and I'm so glad that we hooked up again, because I'm really looking forward to doing this interview. So tell us a little bit about, you know, I know some of the work you do is that psychic work. So tell us a little bit, have you always been psychic, or is this something that you like trained for? How did you get into this?
Well, have I always been psychic? You have to understand I come from the Midwest. Where are you from, Mitch?
I'm from New York.
Okay, well, you've probably known people from the Midwest, I would imagine.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm from Wisconsin, real down-to-earth setting. Everyone's into farming and farmland. And so no, it didn't come naturally in that sense. And I remember when I first came to Santa Fe, maybe 16, 17 years ago, I was in Wild Oats and I overheard two people talking about what planet they were from.
Only in Santa Fe. Well,
I know.
But definitely in Santa Fe.
But being from Wisconsin, that was like, oh, what am I getting myself into? You know, now all these years later and the work I'm doing, I'm like, well, who knows? Maybe. I came to Santa Fe again maybe 16, 17 years ago, went to massage school. And graduated from massage school, started having a pretty big clientele right away, and I got sick, and I started to have a lot of health issues.
Oh no.
Somehow I knew that there was the piece beyond the physical, that there was something to do with energy. I didn't know what that meant at the time, but a friend of mine that I went to massage school told me about this class that was happening. At the time the class was called Energetics. And it was that sort of thing where I just knew I had to be there. You know, that feeling of, yes, I have to do this. So I took the class, and the class was very hard for me. It was a class on meditation, psychic tools, the same one that you took all those years ago with me. It was really hard for me in a way that surprised me, and I didn't understand that. In retrospect, now I know that I was so out of body. I didn't know what it meant to be present in my body. But after each class, I would have this sense of myself and my energy that I had never experienced before. So I started there and gradually just kept taking classes because it kept working for me and helped my body to heal a lot. Plus, I also healed a lot of things that maybe different emotional issues from childhood that I didn't anticipate being able to heal, but suddenly things were changing.
Peeling the onion, you know.
Yeah, actually that's what we call it in the advanced work, yeah. Taking the layers off, peeling the onion. And again, I just kept taking classes, became a teacher, became a minister. And then my teacher was from Taos. And then we started a center in Santa Fe, so I assisted in directing the center for maybe 4 years with her. And then I left for a little while and started teaching again probably just shortly before you took the class. That's how I got into it, and I'm still growing, still learning and healing, and I love the work. It's wonderful.
And it's interesting when you talked about doing the massage and then getting sick, because I know when I started doing Reiki for a while and became a Reiki master, and the same thing happened. I started doing the Reiki, and I started to get sick in my body, and my partner says, you know what, I think before you can do this work, you need to figure out how to run energy, how to move the energy through your body, because I think what you're doing is holding on to whatever it is you're clearing from your clients. You're holding on to that and you're getting sick. And that's how I wound up taking your classes.
Oh, I love it.
Is because I decided at that point, I need to learn how to run energy, how to move energy through my body. And I forget, I think it was called energy awareness or something like that.
Yes, it was.
Class, so
well, it's interesting that you say that, because where this work originates is from the Berkeley Psychic Institute, which has been around for, I think almost 40 years now. And originally the tools came from this man, Louis Bostwick, and as I've heard the story, he came up with these tools as a way for people to release energy, because he noticed a lot of people, especially healers, but also just people in day-to-day life that weren't as happy as they could be, were getting sick, just weren't letting go of things. And so that's exactly where it originated. And
one of the things that I thought was so cool about the class, and this was sort of an unexpected surprise, and this was life-changing for me, is I learned in your class how to trust my intuition. Because I've never been a very visual person, and people always, I see this and I see that, and I've always thought, I don't see anything, and so I've always expected all that information to show up visually. And in your class, I really learned how to just trust my intuition, and that for me it just showed up differently. It was very kinesthetic. It was more about feeling. I get a sense of something, and just to trust that. Yeah. And that was life-changing in every area of my life. I mean, trusting your intuition, what else is there? Nobody knows better than we know how to heal or how to feel better, or what we need to do, Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the Center for Inner Truth.
Okay.
And there's a great quote on your newsletter. Cool. So I'm just going to read a little quote about empowerment and about the healing, the Center for Inner Truth. The mission of the Center for Inner Truth is to teach practical applications of non-religious spiritual principles which promote self-awareness, healing, and inner peace through experiential classes and community outreach programs. Yeah, that's excellent. And it's all true. It's a great way to talk about the center. So tell me a little bit about, what's the center about? What are the benefits? What do you teach there? What are the classes about?
Well, I would say it's a system of meditation utilizing psychic tools. Different than perhaps other meditations, this kind of meditation is for you to get your own answers. And for instance, one of the first tools that is taught, as you learned, was grounding. Really being able to connect in, to align body, mind, spirit, and be grounded.
It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing how that changes everything. Like you were talking about just being present in your body. And these grounding techniques just really, I still that hook into the center of the earth and hooking it to my root chakra. And I mean, I still use that daily throughout my day to it's instant grounding, and everything feels different when I do that.
Yes. And that's, as you're saying that too, that's one thing I love about this work. It's very practical. Psychic tools, but very practical. You can use it all the time. You have no idea what I'm doing right now as I'm talking to
you. Grounding, centering, do all of it, right?
Exactly. And if you think about why we ground a computer or ground a house, surge of energy goes through it, and we can lose everything on the computer. So when we ground our body, which also works with the force of gravity, meaning that whatever's not serving you, as long as you're not in resistance, it will just start draining away. And then you get hit with some sort of chaotic energy, you can maintain your own center, your own peace. And I truly believe one of the mottos of the center is, as we heal ourselves, we heal the world. And I truly believe that is what our sole purpose is to, we each hold a piece of what needs to be healed in humanity. And so as we enlighten ourselves, so to speak, or increase our self-awareness, then it naturally ripples out because we're increasing the peace within.
So healer, heal thyself.
Exactly, exactly.